Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Christmas Lace Notes podcast from the Lace Bee. Today, I'm thrilled to take you on a heartwarming journey back in the time to the Christmas sweets of the 70s and 80s of my childhood. You know, those magical treats that seem to only appear during the holidays, like little treasures wrapped in shiny foil, tucked into stockings or waiting in bowls on the table. Each of these sweets brought something truly special to the season. They weren't just chocolates or sweets, they were tiny pieces of holiday joy, gifts in themselves that still bring a smile to our face when we think back on them. Today I'll unwrap everything from the classic chocolate tins of Quality Streets and Roses to the elegant, luxurious Terry's Chocolate Orange, and we'll travel through the tastes of Christmas past. You might just find yourself reminiscing about the joy these sweets brought to you in your own holiday celebrations. So let's start with the festive rainbow. Do you remember those tubes of sweets that we used to get at Christmas? They'd be the posh versions of the ones that we'd have in little packets. We'll start with the simplest yet most vibrant sweets of the season, the colourful, playful sweets that filled bowls and stockings and gave us a rainbow of flavours. I'm talking fruit pastels. Yep, blackjacks and fruit salads. They weren't anything fancy, just bright wrappers and a touch of sweetness and plenty of nostalgia. One of the first signs that Christmas is in the planning in the shops, when I go to do my food shop, are those long tubes that used to go into your stocking. I still buy them as presents for people. And honestly, I don't think they've gone up that much in money over the years. I've bought out Aero mint chocolate balls, fruit pastels, you name it. There's always something there that goes with everyone. And let's not forget the classic Smarties. Fruit pastels were the favourite, I think, because you tended not to have those. You might have a tube of Smarties, the small ones. So a big tube of Smarties wasn't so much of a treat. I mean, it was nice. But fruit pastels was seen as being more an adult sweet. So to get a tube of those was actually quite something special. Those chewy gems covered in sugar with the different flavours. And you'd always sort of think, oh no, I've got a lime one. When really what you wanted was the black currants. Nowadays, I like the lime ones as well, and the orange. And the raspberries have started to become something that's great with that burst of fruitiness that comes out. Blackjacks and fruit salads. Now we get those big tubs of the sweets with the drumsticks in there and the swizzle lollies. But the blackjacks and fruit salads were always just a penny sweet, so you might get two for a penny. To get a tub or a tube of those was something big. And blackjacks had that bold licorice flavour that you either loved or left for somebody else. Very much a Marmite choice, but that hint of blackcurrant behind them. And fruit salads were just juicy sweetness. And maybe that's what they made them so perfect for Christmas. They had a charm, a playfulness, and they had colour and delight to every little gathering. So, you might remember the sacred tradition of the Christmas chocolate tin. The whole thing behind having the Christmas chocolate tin was the fact that you had a tin to put Christmas decorations in afterwards. We're still getting our decorations out each year and finding that they're in Quality Street tins. These days they come in round plastic tubs. I'm still trying to work out how that's more eco-friendly, because I would have thought the tin was more recyclable, but heck, what do I know? Quality Streets, Roses, and then later things like Heroes appeared. These tins were the crown jewels of holiday treats. Opening that tin for the first time, taking the tape off it round and round and round until you could open it up. And before we went more recyclable with the paper covers, they had those cellophane wrappers that you would hold up before your eyes and look at the light through to see different colours. And sometimes you'd use them to make Christmas decorations with, string them up on a piece of string, crumpled up to give some sort of colours. Quality Street had such a variety from caramels and the classic Brazil nut in caramel and the toffees to that unmistakable green triangle. Everyone would fight over who got the purple one, who got the green one, and now you can actually buy boxes of just those. The new addition to them, which I actually still quite like, is the orange crunchy one. And for me, a Quality Street tin is still a great, great gift that I love seeing and sharing. When I've done Christmas craft markets, I've always taken a box of Quality Street with me to offer people on the store. Then roses, which came later, and smooth textures and the iconic strawberry creams. And you'd find that each family would have a rule. Some allowed everyone to dive in once, others make a game taking turns, and then there were the keep your hands off the favourites warnings. Who could resist? Even if you might just get the last toffee or the dreaded fudge, the chocolate tins brought family laughter and a bit of friendly rivalry. Even now, I can remember trying to get the toffee penny and sit on it for about 30 minutes until it got to the point where you could actually chew it, and then just basically being gummed up with toffee for the rest of the evening. So, that zesty holiday staple. Let's not forget the beloved Terry's Chocolate Orange. And I still remember the tagline with Dawn French saying, "It's not Terry's, it's mine." It's not just a chocolate, it was an experience. Do you remember the tap it, whack it and unwrap it? Because by tapping against a table or pressing the top, it broke that large lump of chocolate that was in the middle that held the segments together. And if you were clever, when you took your segment out, you got that. If you had your own chocolate orange, then it was saving it until you had that last piece to eat. There's something so satisfying about seeing those segments fall apart, almost like the chocolate itself was part of the magic of Christmas. And last year I knitted chocolate orange covers to send out to people. I did Christmas puddings and gnomes. If you have a look at the blog, you'll see pictures of those. But the taste of these is something else. It's rich, it's creamy chocolate with that hint of orange that made it feel so festive. That citrus twist made it stand out from the other holiday chocolates, giving it a sort of elegance. And of course, it was often found tucked into a stocking or brought out as a special Christmas treat after dinner. It's really incredible how one chocolate can hold so many memories. So, a touch of sophistication, the type of things that your parents would share with their friends. The grown-up chocolates, the Ferrero Rocher, the Elizabeth Shaw mints, and the matchstick chocolates. With Terry's Chocolate Oranges coming in so many more flavours these days, you can get them in dark and you can get them in mint flavour. The matchsticks were probably the first ones that came out in those different flavours. So the classic would be the mint matchstick. It was always toss up between that and the After Eight as which one you thought was better. I mean, the After Eight was something that was very minty and kind of cleared your head out. These days, the adult version would be a Bendix Bitter Mint, and I can strongly recommend those with anyone with a Christmas cold. They will clean your ears from the inside. These sweets added a touch of sophistication to the holiday. Often saved for special moments or given as gifts. Ferrero Rocher with its golden wrappers and hazelnut filling felt so luxurious, and you were very adult if you got given a box of them. The adverts for them with the lavish parties were very much FOMO. You know, if you had a box of Ferrero Rochers, you could be part of that set of international people meeting with the ambassador. And the tagline from the adverts, which was "Ambassador, you're truly spoiling us," became quite a cultural thing. Hubby, being an Australian, didn't actually get these adverts. So one time when he was hosting an event where there was actually an ambassador, and he said, "Oh yes, we had the ambassador there," I turned round quick as I could and said, "Oh, how are the Ferrero Rochers?" To which the whole of my family broke out laughing. And he just stood there thinking that I'd lost the plot. Why would they be serving Ferrero Rochers at a very high-class event at a museum? Elizabeth Shaw mints were delicate and refreshing, perfect treat for an after-holiday meal. and the slim, elegant matchsticks chocolates were always a hit. It was something of a refinement. You would give these to somebody who you thought a lot of but weren't necessarily close enough to have a big box of chocolates. It might be the neighbour that you called auntie in the road. And then there were the things that tended to come out at Christmas, coconut ice and peppermint creams. Coconut ice would be something you might make. We sometimes made honeycomb as well with my grandmother. I always remember the fact of one year when she got to grease the tin and we couldn't actually get it to come out, so we had to sort of bang it and eat it from the tin. With the pastel pink and white layers, coconut ice looked way too pretty to eat. And peppermint creams, cool, fresh, perfectly festive. That delicate balance of richness to other holiday sweets. Often homemade, we decided to make them the same year we did the memorable nougat experience, which I've mentioned in other podcasts. Hubby thought that a few drops of peppermint good, half a bottle of essence might be better. I can say that our homemade chocolate-covered peppermint creams certainly did clean your eyeballs from the inside out and were definitely a great thing to have after a full Christmas meal. The other reason for peppermint being such a Christmas thing is because it is a digestive. Peppermint tea, tea with peppermint, anything peppermint does help settle stomachs. So it comes from that tradition of eating something that was good for you and turning it to something that probably wasn't quite so good because it had a load of chocolate. The other thing that really made an appearance at Christmas, though was available year round, was licorice all sorts. They'd come in the big boxes. Now, these aren't everyone's cup of tea, but for those that love them, they were an essential. The licorice all sort has that really bold flavour and a vibrant look, the kind of sweets that added character to a holiday table. And the other real Christmas one would be the Turkish Delight. Soft, chewy, floral notes, traditionally lemon and rose, but these days you can get them in prosciutto flavours and things like that. It felt exotic as though it was a treat from far off, and it was one of those things that would often be in that hamper my mum would get from the milkman. But lost but not forgotten. In fact, the first one of these I've recently seen again. So let's talk about some treasures that perhaps not as common as they used to be, but still hold a special place in our Christmas memories. Maltese fruit jellies. Tended to only be available at Christmas, one of those seasonal sweets. They were they had that soft fruit centre, and they were the gift that my father was always bought by my mother, and they were his. We might be allowed one out of the box. If he only had a small 2-layer box, there was no chance. If there was the bigger pound box, we might just get that one. Then there were the classic boxes adorned with art, the flat ones. My brother used to always buy my grandparents each a box of Black Magic, the biggest one he could get. Working at Woolworths, he'd use his discount to get them as soon as they came in. And they'd have a wonderful display on the front, decorated with famous paintings. They weren't just about the packaging, they were like a work of art themselves. And it was a big thing when the lid was taken off and you'd get the little leaflet out to decide which chocolate you wanted. And knowing that you were going to be allowed to have one, it was all around which one you were going to be offered. And making the decision could take ages. So, final ones for me, there's 2 others that hold in there. Chocolate liqueurs. That was a banned substance if you were under 18. They were definitely an adult thing. And if they didn't get eaten over Christmas and were left, they'd sometimes just turn into pure sugar when the liquor would evaporate off. Deep, heavy, dark chocolate, usually Dutch, with different flavours in there. I think these days we've moved more to truffles as being a thing rather than the pure shots of liquor. But the final one for me was the Terry's 1767 casket. It was a cardboard casket with a dome lid that always had sort of early 1700s Fragonard type paintings on it, and had a layer in the top and a drawer that came out. It was one of those ones that I so wanted someone to give me the box so I could have it as a sewing box or a makeup box, but I never got given it because whoever had that kept hold of those boxes. They, as adults, we see these as indulgences now, but as children they were seen as being the ultimate luxurious and festive treat that adults would indulge in. So here you have it, a delicious journey through the sweets of Christmas past. Each of these treats, from the simple sweets to elegant chocolates, added their own mixture of magic to the season. They were more than just sweets. They were part of our Christmas tradition, our memories, and our joys. There's so many things that you can still get hold of these days that are easy to find and use as part of your Christmas memories. Chocolate coins are still there. Advent calendars with chocolate in them. I have to look for dairy-free chocolates for family members, and now I'm seeing more in there that are actually looking and feeling like the chocolates of our Christmas past. So I hope today's episode has brought back some of those warm memories for you. And if you have a favourite sweet that I didn't cover, then do share. I'd love to hear about your treats and make your Christmas memorable. Thank you for joining me again on the Christmas Lace Notes podcast, and may your holiday season be as sweet as those cherished memories.